The third round rules. A great take nets you 800 points, a good take 400, okay take nets you 200, and a bad take, again, keeping that at a big fat goose egg. Let's go to a game in Arizona that was a wild one. So the New York Giants trailed 20-zip to the Arizona Cardinals at halftime, to my man Joshua Dobbs, who, by the way, is playing very well. Who needs Caleb Williams when you have Joshua Dobbs? Am I right? But listen, the New York Giants in the second half scored 4 straight touchdowns and then kicked a game-winning field goal with about 30 seconds left in the football game. A lot of folks are talking about, hey, the Giants who've gotten shut out in the first 6 quarters of their season, all of a sudden Daniel Jones comes alive and the offense looks really good and the defense, of course, plays well. And then others looking at it as if, well, yeah, you're playing the Arizona Cardinals. I'd certainly hope you could get a win against potentially the worst team in football, although they haven't showed that thus far, but we'll see. I'll start with you, AJ. Were you impressed by the Giants' 20-point comeback against Arizona?
Absolutely, and I'll give you my answer right off the top, okay? Trailing by 3 scores in the second half since 2014, the chances of winning is 1.9%. I'm a big analytics dude, so that right there, I don't know how you can say this isn't impressive. Add on to Jones becoming one of the first quarterbacks, became the first quarterback to throw for 250 yards, 50 rush for 50, and have multiple touchdowns and a rushing touchdown, and not commit a turnover in the second half of the game. So, is that enough? I mean, they certainly gave Giants fans a nice glimmer of hope for the rest of the season with that. Up until that point, as I mentioned earlier, I would have been like, what's going on, holding my head in my hands. But I think you got to build off of that. You got to just look at that last second half out of the last 6 halves they've played. And it's something that you can use to turn the team around, build momentum off of. So I am definitely impressed, and it's going to make things interesting.
For sure, and it's also credit too to Brian Dable and this, and the character of this Giants team. Like a lot of teams, they're trailing Arizona, it's on the road, you just got humiliated on national television the week prior. A lot of teams come in the second half and maybe they're just not necessarily throwing the talent. They're not going to quit, obviously, but they're not in the right frame of mindset to really come back and go win the football game. But the fact the Giants, again, they got a big play down the field to kind of kick off the comeback to my man Jalen Hyatt, and it really propelled them from there. Of course, they did lose Saquon Barkley, but it doesn't look like the injury is quite as severe as we initially thought, which is, of course, great news. To you, Barry Grant Jr., were you impressed with the New York Giants' 20-point comeback?
I would definitely say yes. A lot of people before the season kind of wrote Arizona off in regards to them being a terrible team, 0-17. They're not going to win a game. They'll win. Like, here's the thing that I've noticed through 2 weeks. They play very hard and they play very inspired football. So them being up as much as they were on the Giants, it doesn't feel as bad now because they've shown and they've proven that they're a tough team. So it is a quality win by the Giants to be able to come back and win that game for a team that plays very hard like the Arizona Cardinals. If this was just a terrible team and they were up this big and the Giants win the game, it doesn't feel as good this week to be able to talk about it. But the fact that I particularly think that although they may not win a lot of games, Arizona is not an easy out. They really are not. So, shouts to the Giants for winning that game, but I really am more impressed with the Arizona Cardinals in regards to how much fight and how much grit they have, with given all the issues and turmoil that they've been having over the past few seasons.
You know what I call that, Barry? Tanking in style. This is what it looks like from the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. So, we'll see what happens through the next 15 weeks of their season. Alfred, again, you're like Barry, you're a New York guy, but a Jets fan, albeit. Were you impressed by the in-town team's comeback on the road against the Arizona Cardinals?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was impressed, and I'll tell you why. Number one, as you mentioned, they came off that 40-burger loss at home on national television to the Cowboys the week prior that the whole world saw. So it's not like they even lost a close game in week 1 that they had momentum to take in the game in the week 2. They literally had no momentum going into this game. Then at halftime, they're down by 20. Anytime you're down by 3 scores at any point in the game, doesn't matter if it's the first quarter, fourth quarter, that's demoralizing. So the fact that they had the wherewithal to say, all right, we're not giving up, that in and of itself is inspirational, even if they would have lost a close game to the Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals, they're going to be a stinker this year. But again, anytime a team has you by 3 scores and your back's against the wall and you're in a similar situation to the week prior and you were able to change destiny mid-game, That's amazing. And to add to the fact, Saquon Barkley didn't finish the game either. Saquon Barkley, without a doubt, is the best player that offense has. No offense to Darren Waller or Daniel Jones, who just got paid, no matter whether you agree with him getting the bag or not. But I mean, to finish the game and win without your star running back and one of the more explosive running backs in the NFL itself, in and of itself, that's very impressive. You can say what you want about the quality of the opponent, not having their star quarterback this season, but no, anytime you come back from 3 scores, that's impressive.
It is. And listen, Arizona is an NFL team. Again, sort of reference to what Barry said earlier, like, some people saying 0-17. I gave them enough respect to give them 1 win on the season, but hey, listen, they may sneak out a couple, when it's all said and done. Man, we got a lot of comments here, regarding what's going on. Let's see. Sincere Brown says Danny Dimes, so I assume he's a big Daniel Jones fan. Shaheem Taylor says quality win. What? Well, I mean, listen, a win, any win is a quality win. You take what you can get. Clint Alexander says, yeah, Cap. So, man, with not a lot of pro Giants comments. Looks like just about everybody here disagrees with all 3 of our panelists. Sincere Brown says that halftime chat must have been interesting. Shaheem Taylor says there was nothing impressive about the Giants' win. Stop it. Okay. Listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I think it's hilarious. This is probably the first time that it seemed like the entire comment section is completely against all the panelists, which I'm going to take up for my guys now, okay? Get off my guys' backs, okay? They make some solid points. I'll start with you, Alex. Great take there. Great take. Again, you bounce back in the sense it was very decisive. You were talking about how, listen, making a comeback of this magnitude is darn near impossible. You mentioned since 2014, like 1.9%, something crazy. So the fact the Giants were able to pull it off and Daniel Jones played as well as he did, as you mentioned, great take on your part. To Barry, great take as well for you, my man. It was you're talking about how, listen, we need to probably give Arizona a little bit more respect than we have been giving them. But listen, Giants came through. They rallied at halftime and they got the W. So great take on your part. And that is now 3 straight great takes for Alfred, who's going to be moving on to the final round to take on Barry Grit Jr. We'll get to you and Alex in just a moment. I hate to tell you, man, you're not moving on, but great take by Alfred once again. Like to make this comeback, like you mentioned, is very impressive. And listen, it's very difficult. So listen, as far as our guy Alex, my man, it's not a great not a great finish for you, buddy. It was obviously very exciting to have you on though. But how you feeling?
Hey, I feel good. I feel like I just slipped up there on my second answer. But, now I know what you're looking for, Bryson. This is what this game is about, is figure out what you want to hear. And then
Yeah, boost my ego a little bit, AJ. Listen, it's a feel-out process, right? Like, it's a preseason game. Game. And then once you listen, as far as I know, and I'll check the leaderboard once it's all said and done. Let me look at the leaderboard now. I think you might have.
I am impressed with AJ's first appearance. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Very impressive performance. And until I'm sure our guy Adam is watching, your guy Adam, especially from the Can fan, you are ahead of him on the leaderboard. Okay, so you had a better performance thus far. Both of you with 1 appearance. You're ahead of Adam. We're gonna have to get Anth on at some point to complete the Can fan trifecta. Right. We may have to do an 8 o'clock spot with just the Can fan guys at some point. That would be fun. That'd be fun, no question about it. So Alex, great performance. We'll talk to you at the very end of the show, but hate to move you here, but it's